Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Kyle, and with me as always, Sean, Dre, and Hannibal. Now we got two guests with us today. Two ladies are joining the party. We got Danny. Say hi, Danny.
Hello.
All right, and we got Andrea. What's up, Andrea?
Hello. What's going on?
You guys ready to party with us?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So Real Talk is a show where we talk about anything and everything. We keep it real. You can say whatever you want. There's no safe spaces. And if people get mad and want to cancel us, we don't give a shit. We're still going to say it. That's how we roll here, okay? Old school style. We're not the new age. So that being said, we're going to start today with, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to talk about men and women, relationships, perceptions, everything you can think about. We're going to try to get all that in today. So we wanted the ladies to join us because we wanted to get some female input, because last time we talked about this, it was just guys and we didn't feel we got a complete discussion. So we had a couple ladies join us, and they're smart, they're witty, they're beautiful. They're going to show us what's up. So I heard an old statement. I want to read this quote that I heard, and it said, only children, dogs, and women are loved unconditionally. Men are the only ones that are loved with conditions.
Amen.
The guys on here pretty much agree with that. Dre just spoke for us. So, ladies, do you agree with that statement or not?
Let me tell you what.
Oh, shit.
Let me tell you what. Depending on what environment you are, let's talk about the workforce, honey. Okay? Can I go there?
Exactly what I was thinking. I mean, it's a man's world.
And
then you have mama's boys where men can do no wrong. What the hell?
Oh, anyway. I am definitely a part of that. I love my family, but especially old.
Are you trying to say some shit?
We do everything wrong. The men are like, can I fix your plate? What else do you need? Like, that's the environment. The old school generation of old folks from South, men are higher than. Now, then when you go to work all day. I'm sorry, were you saying something? Like, all day. Like, no matter
okay. So wait.
And I mean, double standards usually go in a man's favor. I mean, just about everything goes in a man's favor.
Well, generally, okay, in society, yes, more or less, it's a man's world. But we're talking about value. When in a relationship, a woman's usually say a man's got to be this, got to do this, got to make this much money, got to have this, There's a list of conditions that women generally have when they're looking for a man. I think that's different when men are looking for women. Like most men want simple things from a woman, right? You want.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dre. All right, let Dre say. What are name some things men want?
Sit back.
We'll see what Dre wants to say. I don't know. Dre wants to say.
Okay, let's hear this.
All right, he might not want to say it. He just went mute. So, all right, I'll say it. I feel like he might have backed out. But okay, so in the case of what I normally hear from men is that they want either freaky women or sexually promiscuous, whatever you want to call it. They want women who are not going to bitch and complain or nag. And, you know, that's about it. You don't get the whole traditional cook, clean, all the other stuff you used to hear back in the day. But
why not just get a blow up doll? Okay, so what I'm trying to
the sex doll, you missed the sex doll podcast. That's a whole nother thing. We've had that one already. So
I was about to say, I mean, here's another thing too. You have to remember that we're also still in a different generation, right? We got the implementation of social media, like the expectations are a little bit higher. Like, you know, it's almost like, you know, for some of us, for some, you know, I would say for some men, you know, the expectations are still, you know, pretty standard. But if you think about the implementation of all the social media and everything that we have going on right now, stretch marks are problems. Like if you don't have no hair, you got to have long hair. Your skin has to be clear. The competition is great. So it's very much like, oh, your titties ain't big enough. Oh, okay. Let me tell you about whoever was in my inbox yesterday. Like, let me tell you. Whoops to the next one. It's options limitless now. I think there's a fairy tale sort of situation. You know, that's why everybody's getting implants. You know, you think it's only celebrities, but people are getting, you know, lipo and all type of plastic surgery and stuff, trying to look like the Barbie dolls that's on the internet. I know that's realistic because we're in a different time than what we were before. A lot of these statements would have been suitable before, but because it seems to be, you know, ass is at the tip of your fingers. Forgive me if my mama gonna watch this, but it's at the tip of your fingers right now. My mama gonna watch this. I'm like, oh my God. It's at the tip of your fingers. Like for, you know, somebody's gonna be in your DM, you know.
Okay. Well, I get that. And again, I think that's more for the superficial people just wanting to have physical, this or that in the DM. But we're talking about let's say
about behavior.
Yeah, but people talking about more serious relationships. People looking for actual relationships, quality, not just hookups, not just superficial things. I think when it comes to that, don't you believe women have a longer list of what they're looking for when they're trying to find that one or settle down?
I'm gonna let my homegirl take
some. Drea, what do you think?
Damn, that's a hell of a punt.
I got answers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think a longer list of expectations. I mean, I don't think we necessarily have a longer list of expectations. I think that women now, these modern women, we're just very high functioning people, and we want someone to match our level of energy and what we bring to the table. Yes, and it just doesn't allow men to be lazy. Men, you just can't be lazy and meet us where we are.
They can't play Streets of Rage all day.
No.
You can play. I play video games.
No, it's like have some ambition.
You can have ambition and play video games.
And that's what I'm saying.
You can.
Yes, you can. Smoke what you're gonna smoke. Have a good time. But also, you need some ambition, and we're gonna have to. I'm building an empire. So
okay, so it is all right. Does a man's salary play into that?
Oh, you about to hit some nerves today.
I gotta ask the question. Like, is there a minimum requirement when it comes to salary?
No, but sorry.
That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie.
I agree with that. Thank you, Hannibal.
Well, I think that's somewhat linked to the ambition, because I mean, not everyone's line of work is going to pay a certain amount of money, but it's about your ambition. Like, let's say, you have a man that's a school teacher. Okay, school teachers don't make a lot of money, but what's the ambition there? Do you ever want to be a principal or vice principal, or are you just going to be complacent in the classroom?
Wait, before you go on, what if being a school teacher and actually like teaching children is that man's like raison d'etre, right? Like that's the thing that puts the light in his eye, the spring in his step, and he loves doing that. Why do you have to be more ambitious to be a principal? Because being a principal, that's just administrative work. That really takes you away from teaching. One step.
Yes, but it's going to pay more. It's going to pay more bills.
So what?
Okay, well, right there. Stop right there. So it's going to pay more bills. But the point is,
because if you have a family to consider, it's not just about you and your comfort.
But shouldn't somebody do what makes them happy? Doesn't that play into it as well? Like, can't someone do a job that fulfills them? In the case of this person this man is a teacher. He's changing lives and impacting these kids and making a difference, and it satisfies him. Maybe he doesn't make $200,000 a year, but he's making a difference.
Well, look, if you meet a guy and he works on Wall Street and he's pulling down $350K a year, and then you get married, and 3 years into your marriage, he tells you, well, I've secretly always wanted to be a school teacher, and I'm going to change jobs, and I'm going to take a job where I make $35K a year, then yeah, that's an issue. Mm-hmm. But if you start dating someone who is a school teacher and they tell you, this is what I've always wanted to do, like, I don't really have an ambition to be an administrator because I've seen the job of administrators, and I don't really want to be an administrator. I'm one step removed away from being able to shape the minds of our future, and that it's not going to fulfill me as much as what I'm doing now. Then you have a decision to make. You can be like, well, you're not going to be rich being a teacher, so you have to accept that person's never going to be rich. Yeah, they may have fulfilled their life's ambitions already by the time they meet you.
Boys and girls, men do not get to be happy in their careers. Our function is to make money. That's it. We don't get to be happy. She can sit her ass at home and be an educator, be a college professor, make $120,000, $150,000 a year, come home one day and decide, you know what? I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And you have to fucking accept that. Well, no negotiation. But if you walk in the door and you're in the financial world like I am, and you decide I'm burnt out, sweetheart, I can't take it no more. I am tired of not getting to bed until 2 a.m. and I want to walk away from this job that's fucking killing me and it's soulless and they don't appreciate me and I get passed up promotion by white guys all the time, even though I do their fucking job better than they do. Oh, honey, it's okay. But we really need the income is the conversation that you're gonna get. No support, no understanding. Well, maybe a little bit of understanding, but nigga better not quit.
Okay, hold on. Before Danny goes, I want to make sure I catch this because Dre said 2 points I want to bring out. And those 2 things is a statement that everyone knows Kevin Samuels, we're familiar with him, right? And there's a quote that he said that men are either for utility or to be feared. That's the only 2 things that men bring to the value in women's lives. Like you either use us for that. I'm just quoting what he said. And then
I don't understand why people listen to that motherfucker.
Y'all better let me talk.
I do not understand why people
right
listen.
now.
That man has spouted some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
But the problem is that a lot of people believe it. But there are some points that he does make that have some valid validity.
He does make some valid.
Everything he says in bullshit, Sean. There are some points. If you go into it, like most of the shit he says is really he's just ratings and videos. But there's a lot of things he says that actually is kind of valid. But go ahead, Danny. I know you're dying for this. What do you got?
Okay.
Right. No.
I got points. Okay. Y'all let me get through. First of all, I don't have any problem with said statement that men, I am fine with a school teacher. Okay. Now the problem rises with who you're with, right? So, me, I'm this businesswoman, like real, and a lot of Black women in particular are businesswomen now. This is this new generation where we're educated and we're trying to get master's degrees and go back to school and make a bunch of money, right? In the older days, and it's safe to say the older days, yes, the men were the head of households and the women stayed home. And that was just the way it was. So now we have a bunch of people raised by divorced parents, raised with the woman of the household. If you have a daughter in the house, she's raised to be the man of the household. Now the man doesn't necessarily have anyone to look to understand true masculinity, however you care to put that. You're saying the son in the house. Yeah, maybe understanding the role in the household. So now you have extra masculine women that feel like they need to run the household, they need to make the money, and they have to be the breadwinners of the family. So you have a generation of people, like even for me, you ask me, I can't barely get a man to pay for dinner on the first date. It's like, go Dutch. Thing is, in this sort of generation, now we're looking at women that are paying the bills, women that are stepping up and doing all of this, which not saying that men, hardworking women, men don't exist. It's saying we're dealing with a different playing field than what we used to be dealing with before.
And women still don't like it.
Now these women are questioning, okay, if I am making more money, hello, hear me, y'all listening with both ears now. If I'm making more money than my man, the problem really is how does the man gonna feel?
Okay.
I'm so sick of this. No. I'm so sick of this.
Wait, Dre, no, seriously. There are a lot of men that do have a problem with that. I'm not one. I don't think most guys on here are one, but yeah, there are men.
First of all, if you have a guy who is jealous of the fact his woman, his girlfriend, whatever, is making more than him, you picked the wrong man. Bottom, full stop. You fucked up. Call it what it is.
It is very, very prominent. You have to.
What if it doesn't start out that way? What if it doesn't start out where the woman is making more? She just.
Don't you think in the beginning you should know if you're dating someone for some time and you decide to marry that person? Don't you think there's a point where you should know the kind of character they have and know that they probably can't handle?
Hold on. I'm gonna hop in here for 15 seconds. Better than them. The thing that Kevin Samuels gets right is niggas don't give a fuck how much money you get because their mind. Men don't think about how much money a woman makes because he's not thinking about how to spend her money.
Right.
He's thinking about how much money he has to contribute or he has to provide to maintain the household. So it's great. It's great. I know personally, women do make more in some circumstances. Yeah. And you just have to be a man in your own shit. But the thing is, if you're a man in your own shit, you're not thinking about, I want to get XYZ thing, so I know she makes. You don't even think about that shit. So how much money she makes, what kind of education she has.
Let me-
You don't give a fuck
But
about.
there are not a lot of men like there, but
That's
every man's not
That's
like
most men. That's most men. That's most men. Because
I think most men
tell
are
you
like
why.
that, but not
Dating
every.
people
I'm
right
gonna tell
now.
you.
If
I'm gonna
you
tell you
date
Because that's not what
women-
we value in women.
We don't
That's true.
value that. We don't care about your education. Your fuck. First of all, your money don't value us. You know why? Because if we do get married and we do get divorced, we ain't getting none of that shit.
Right, that is
Rare
true.
is it-
That is
We, in our mindset, we don't think about spending that money. When we're looking at our paycheck or we're looking at bills and shit, we're looking at our money. We're not considering their money for the shit that we got to do.
Rare is it that women pay alimony? Rare is it that women pay child support?
I
So
think
again,
you
your
guys
money,
are-
so your money is irrelevant to us because we
That is
always have to get our own.
that is
If
actually
you
not.
contribute
that's
and
no
you
longer
make more
true.
money, that is great.
That's what I'm just trying
yeah.
to
Hold on,
tell you.
Dre. Sean, go ahead and say that again, please.
It's true that women rarely pay alimony and child support. They just did an article in the Washington Post not too long ago talking about the number of women in the Washington D.C. area who have to pay alimony and even in some cases child support to their quote unquote failure to launch husband because they met a guy, they fell in love. This guy had a different trajectory in his life when they met. The wife has fulfilled her potential professionally, and the man has either decided she makes way more money than we need. I can just do nothing, or he quits his job, or he gets laid off, and then these women find themselves in these relationships where they're making all the money.
Well, welcome
They
to the
don't
club.
have. They're making all. Not only are they making all the money, they're also doing all the housework.
Oh man, Sean.
Right? So they're bringing in all the money, and they're doing all the housework,
That's
and the
because
man is
also
just sitting at
because now,
home doing nothing, and then they decide that they want to get out of this marriage, and so they get a divorce, but because they make all the money, they have to pay alimony.
so
And
basically they're
the
upset that
biggest
the
difference,
men
no,
pay.
wait, the biggest difference between men paying alimony and women paying alimony is women who have to pay alimony are bitter about having to pay alimony.
Actually,
men-
dudes get bitter about that shit too, though.
Men get angry about paying alimony, but a man who makes more than his wife expects to have to pay alimony. If he gets
Thank you.
There's an expectation.
Exactly.
Women who have to pay alimony are usually paying alimony because they're divorcing a bum.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
And now they have to pay for this bum to maintain
Hey,
his
equal
bummy
opportunity.
lifestyle.
I don't
No,
care if it's
I'm gonna
embarrassing.
say something very unpopular.
Let me
To all the women upset about paying alimony and child support, first time, huh?
let me revisit the
I hope so.
comment that Kyle made earlier about dating. When you're dating someone with a personality, you have these new situations come up, right? Say for instance, you're in a relationship, y'all kicking it, we good, we have our jobs. I then get promoted. This guy has never been in a situation where the woman has made more than him. So it's new. It could be a new situation. I can't necessarily say that from those dates before that now this is such a good person that he's not going to have any discomfort. And I'm not even saying this person is an asshole. It just brings something to think about, the comfort level of if my wife is making more money with me. I'm not saying this person is a bad person. I'm just saying it could change the dynamic of the
Oh, I agree.
relationship
Yeah.
in certain men's vibe, because they're used to being the breadwinners. They're used to being the figure to pay all of the things.
No, I agree with that. But I will say this. I'll say that when you talked about in the household, and this really started in the 80s, especially in the Black household where you didn't have a lot of Black fathers and you had Black sons not having a lot of masculine influence in the household. But what that did do in some cases where you had a strong Black woman, single mother, you typically, and I grew up in that environment, you didn't really have a scenario where that son would look at a strong Black woman as a negative and be intimidated by it. They actually want that because that's
but they get mad that they raise mama's boys now and they can't get a fucking
well,
date.
hold on. That's different. Just because you're raised by a single mother doesn't mean you're a mama's boy in the sense that you can't handle shit. That's a different perspective. It's how your mother treats you. Now, I had a mother that didn't spoil me and she kicked my ass. So I appreciate a strong Black woman, which is why I'm not intimidated by a Black woman or a woman in general making more money than me or being more successful professionally than me. I could care less. The way I look at it is if you're in a relationship, that's just community money. Like you all benefit from the success of that relationship. It shouldn't be, oh, she makes more than me, I'm gonna put on, you're together. It should be together, because if I make more, it's still together. So
No,
Now,
it's community.
another
It's
thing-
community money when she walks away. It's just
Now-
your ass taking the L when she does.
alimony.
Another
I'm getting
thing-
alimony. So sorry.
Another thing to point out, say you have this professional elite, which I like to call myself. I'm just kidding. So you have this professional elite woman, and she's in the dating pool, and you're looking for someone, not necessarily, you know, I need ambition. What I'm saying is, you want somebody that's, you know, speaks your language, right? At least at bare minimum, speaks your language, you vibe, you have similar interests, and, you know, I do require ambition, you know, but I do know that in order to be compatible with me, you'll have to be ambitious to some degree. Like, not necessarily saying you have to be, again, promoted in 5 minutes, but you're gonna have to, you have to be a man that is looking to do better all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes if I'm having these conversations with even male elites, right, they're already making quite a bit of money. The dynamic could change at any time. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean these people are bad. It's just you have to think about where you are in your situation. I'm not saying either is bad, but you have to think, in a relationship, do I care? You know, if I am dating a school teacher, it's not necessarily that, because I want my husband to love what he does all day long, because I want him to be happy when he come home. But at the same time, you know, will there be conflict if I have to be on calls all day long and he's coming home and he doesn't have anything to do? So it also depends too on compatibility and what your lifestyles end up looking like, depending on how much you make too.
Living you expect, you know, like, okay, what kind of cars you want to drive, where do you want to live, how do you vacation? All these things are impacted by how much money this man has.
But his
So-
ambition is
so-
not
so
impacted by
once
money.
again-
So if the
once again-
guy's a 34-year-old still trying to be rapper and he's still hustling, he's
Okay.
got
Once again-
ambition.
so
Hold on,
once- so once
hold on.
again-
Wait.
Once again, our
He's
values
got
matter.
ambition. He has
Once
no
again-
money. He has no money and most likely won't get paid doing this. But he has ambition to become a rapper or whatever. There's plenty of dudes out there in their 30s still trying to get the rap game going.
This is why I hate most fucking
Yeah.
men. Because as a man, because as a man, our value once again is still tied to our productivity, our income, and our assets. A woman just has to fucking be cute and to smile and to be sexy and not be
That's our
sexual.
fault.
That's it.
Well, that's on you. That's all
our
you
fault.
want.
Our value is always tied to what the fuck we own or what we have, or how much cash we have, and all it's always tied to that. It's always
Well, no,
tied.
that's one of Kevin. Well, no, hold up. But that's one of Kevin
Samuel's
Samuel's points that he says men are for utility. The fact
we
is,
don't get to be the happy school teacher with the supermodel
we have to
wife.
be the providers. We have to
we
be the
don't get to
protectors.
have
We have to be like, no, that's how
Right.
society has viewed men in that case.
Well, I mean, we're judged on
And
our
women still
appearance.
have that idea.
yeah,
Women-
yeah.
Okay, I don't like umbrella statements and like everybody on this call, but the women that I talk to would like the man to like his job and be happy, whatever that means. I hope it's not a stripper or a drug dealer. What I'm trying to say is that I want to be bold. I am totally against that. I do not want the man of my life to just feel used for what he can provide for me. I want there to be a mutual relationship. I want him to also look at me and expect me to be ambitious and to do things and to be creative. I want him to expect that same thing for me. I don't want it to be, oh, can you just do this all day? Like, that's not a relationship to me. I could hire somebody.
I tell you what, I'll believe that statement the day I see a man walk away from a 6-figure job, goes home, tells his wife, girlfriend, significant other after many years, because they got a real relationship at this point, not a couple of months, they don't mean shit, but a couple of years, and says, you know, I'm burnt out. I just want to manage a fucking McDonald's for 45 grand a year. Do you still love me?
Yeah,
I
all
wanna-
day long.
that-
That's
when
what
I
I'm
see
saying.
that-
That happens more often than
When I
you
see
think.
that, when she accepts it, I will believe it too. But
It
until then,
probably doesn't.
the minute dude stops
If that job was impacting his health, I would accept that.
Yeah, what
everybody
kind of
says
women are you
that.
talking to?
Everybody says that, but I've rarely seen it.
With these women that you're speaking to, how many of them are actually married?
That was going to be my next question, actually, Hannibal.
Very few.
How many of them are married?
So you
Or is
got,
just a bunch of women talking to each other about what they
so
think?
Danny,
men should
the women
want?
you talked about, you just brought up the women. You said there were like a lot of women who want this and want that. They want the men to be happy with their jobs. These women that you're talking about, how many of them are actually married?
These are mixed women that are both married and single. I hang with like-minded humans. I believe in being a good human, and I think, to me, I think because we made a similar point, Kyle, when talking about dating, you can't necessarily judge, certain things when you're first dating. But I believe ultimately, if you're a good human and you want your significant other to be happy, and you want to figure out how to make it work so that both people can be happy and live and flourish. And it depends on too, what your values are in a relationship. It just depends on the relationship dynamic. I don't necessarily believe in umbrella statements and some facts, but yes, if you're talking about somebody that's like wanting for health purposes and wanting to enjoy their life, that's just a good human.
That's good for your friend.
So
As Andrea said, it's if you're building a life with someone and you have particular goals, being a good human is great. Like, that's the foundation. You want everyone to be a good human, but niggas need to make fucking money.
Thank you.
Have a lifestyle that's in accordance with how you anticipate you see yourself living, and more importantly, to fucking retire with. You can't work forever.
Right.
If you're a blue collar person, there's a reason why you get overtime. There's a reason why blue collar workers retire early, because your body gets worn the fuck down.
Thank you.
Right. So how long are you going to continue being ambitious, and how long can your body actually match that so-called ambition that you have? And
I'm giving the same energy. Ambition don't mean, again, also think about what your understanding of ambition is, because apparently that's controversial here, that word.
No.
It's just overused. Ambition is overused.
Well, no.
We're talking about life planning.
To make that point, because what is your idea of ambition?
Well,
That does not mean.
I think that's the thing. It can change per person.
Forward.
Hold on, I'm going along the lines of what Andrea shared earlier. I'm going along the lines.
Okay, that's not what I'm talking about.
Hold on. I'm going along the lines of what Andrea shared earlier in terms of ambition, where ambition is operationalized to where you're looking at real outcomes, you have ambition. That's a psychological state of wanting, of being motivated to get more. But we're talking about fucking paying bills. We're talking about being able to retire. We're talking about owning a home. We're talking about taking care of kids. We're talking about being able to take care of other family as well. Ambition may be a component, but you need fucking money to make those things happen.
Why does the woman need money? I don't understand this.
I didn't say anything about the woman. Here's the thing I didn't say. I never said anything about the woman needing.
Yeah, because
money.
I get coming from Dre's point about you, or just like the man has to make all of this money, and the man.
I never said that.
You're telling us that it ain't other fucking man.
I never said that. That's keep Dre's argument to Dre.
No, actually, Slack.
I feel like Dre cussing me out, but I don't hear nothing.
No. Dre didn't say that. Andrea was saying that in her perception of ambition, she was saying that you have to be not just a go-getter of improve, but it has to be a stepping stone of the next level, and that's how we got on that discussion of a teacher becoming a principal, and then some.
But there are limits.
I think I'm coming from a point where women just don't like to see complacency in men.
And that's a general statement, because complacency can be a lot of things. It doesn't have to mean you have to go for promotion.
But when things stay the same, like for too long, it's like, what the hell? Like, can you do something else?
So then there's the point that women need to probably put their dick up sometimes.
Wait a minute. Stop. Wait. I want to understand. So you mean to tell me
sometimes y'all need to put your dick up?
I want to ask this question.
Sometimes.
So you're telling me that women constantly want to see the next piece of the puzzle. They're constantly going up the ladder. Okay, no complacency. So where is the equilibrium then? Because if I constantly see you all the time, and you're really not changing anything, you're not doing nothing special. You're not.
Well, women generally are. We're productive people.
If a man is expected to constantly go up the ladder and do more professionally, then what are you doing more that's different in that same span of time? Say a 5-year.
I can't speak to women that don't do that, but
so he should leave.
Very productive person.
If you're a woman, so if you're a woman and you're not improving, then that means I should leave a good relationship then, right?
Wait.
That's nobody. All right. Wait, that's not what people are saying. All right, there's a few things. There's a few things.
Because it's BS. And this
Hold
is-
on, Dre. Hold on, Dre. Wait.
So-
Slow down.
So first, let me first state, Dre, that when you say that women just have to look cute, that's men's fault, right? That's men requiring nothing more of the woman that they want to be in a relationship.
I never did not blame us. I'm just saying, but that is the.
But I'm just saying, but you can't accuse women of just all you have to do is look cute. Like that's our fault. Because that's what we look for.
Right, but it is what
That's
it
the
is.
first thing. That's the
It's
first
the
and only thing that we look for is physical attractiveness because men are visual creatures.
Facts are facts,
That's,
right?
If that's all you want is a woman who looks good and looks nice on your arm and
And
makes your
doesn't
friends
really
jealous.
say much, and we're quiet, and we don't
Right.
use the
If that's what you
what else
want, then
is
that's what
there?
you end up with. The other part of this is a lot of this is you have people who don't seem to take the time to figure out what is important to the person that they're starting a relationship with, right? What is their definition of progress, right? For a lot of people, progress is starting a family and raising children, right? For some people, it's professional progress. You want to advance your career. You want somebody else to advance their career. What's more important to you, money or time? Because I can tell you right now that if somebody offered me a job making 10 times what I'm making, but told me that I would only be home 2 hours a day, my wife would tell me I can't take that job. Because my time with her is more important to her than the amount of money that job would pay me. All of that extra money would not make up for my absence.
And that's
right?
the thing, right? And that's the thing.
I don't know why some people are nodding.
But that's the thing, ain't it? If you got a guy, if you got a guy, but just say work for a company, you make $200,000 a year, you're comfortable. You have no debts, you have no kids, you own property, you have your investments, you're good. Your life is set. You are comfortable. You don't have to ask your woman for a fucking thing. You don't need nothing else but her to physically be there and be supportive of you, whatever that entails for you. You're comfortable. But you mean to tell me she's going to be upset that you're comfortable at your $200,000 a year and everything I just stated? That's not enough.
If you picked the wrong woman.
Yeah,
that's my right. So you
no. See, here's the problem, Dre. You are applying broadly a state of mind that a particular individual might have. Right? All women don't feel that way. Right? Progress to some women who are in that situation where they're married to someone who makes a decent living and they make a decent living and they're comfortable, especially if they don't have any kids. Progress might be, which European countries are we going to go vacation in this year?
Speak a word.
Which island destination are we going to hang out at for the holidays? Like, that could be progress. Hey, we're progressing our way around the world. Progress has different meanings to different
Something
people.
has to change.
Ambition means different things. And I know this is, again, the trigger word, but none of this stuff that I'm saying doesn't apply to myself, okay? The same for me. I'm not making $3 million a year, but I do have ambition. I desire, to create things and to build, to build things and to grow and to learn, those kind of things. So it's not necessarily when I'm thinking ambition, to piggyback off of what Sean's saying, is it conditional? Am I only dating you if you make this? If you do, that's great. If you want to take care of me, you know what? That's your business, but I still want to make some money. I'm still going to work because you also have women that take pride in their work, which is my main point. My main point, I do not, quote me on this, I do not want to be only desired for how I look and what I can do for you in the bed. Just like you don't want to be desired strictly for what you can provide. I want somebody that wants to hear my thoughts, that wants to talk to me, that
friends.
That we're friends, that we can have great, conversation with me. And
that's your friends.
I need to make one more point.
That's your friends.
Sorry. An old wise woman once told me, and this I'll never forget. She said, "Men, when you get married, you got to always look good because somebody is waiting for your spot." And that always hit me.
But that's anything when you say
constant mind state of I just gotta look pretty. And I'm not using an umbrella statement, but that's to tell you a lot of women, that's in our head that the next woman is gunning.
Well, truth be told, everyone's out for self at some point, and it's competitive. And I think that's the problem when you get into relationships. A lot of times people get complacent and they think, oh yeah, I got you know, they're married, whatever, I got this, is security, cool. But the truth is, the viewpoint is everything and everybody is replaceable. And I think in some cases, again, not to make a blanket statement or saying all women, but there is a view from a lot of women that once they get their man, once they get that ring, they are like, well, I don't have to do these things. People like to forget to date each other, things like that they did in the beginning of their relationship. And the relationship becomes stale because they're like, well, I'm comfortable. I got my man. I don't have to work anymore. And that's when it creates problems. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to say all women, but there are a lot of women that do that. And then what happens is those relationships fall apart and those men start going other places, or, you know, or vice versa. Men do that. They don't date their women anymore. And the women go, look, everyone needs something. And eventually they're going to start looking other places if they don't have it where they should get it from. And
relationships abhor disparity. Right?
Yeah.
So usually when two people get together in a relationship that's working, it's because they're very close to one another. They share similar interests. They're in similar places financially, professionally, in terms of physical condition. Like they are a good match. Then they get married or they get into a long-term relationship. And if one member of that relationship starts to fall off in a given area, whether that be looks, professional ambition, whatever it happens to be, like inattentiveness, eventually that will take a toll on your relationship. It doesn't really matter what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
If the work isn't put in to try to fix that, because you have to work at it. If the work isn't put in over time,
work at it. So if you're a man who marries a woman who's in great shape, right? And you've been married for a few years and she decides she doesn't want to work out anymore, but you like to stay in great shape.
Right.
If she gets too far away from you in terms of physical condition and you're still in great shape,
right,
eventually that's going to cause a problem. And
right,
the reverse is also true. I used to work with a guy who met his wife when he was in the military and he was in great shape.
Right.
Started working with computers, got a desk job, started gaining a little weight.
Yep. Happens. Been there.
Went to a party where he and his wife was there, and you know, she had a wandering eye for other people because she was still in great shape and he wasn't in great shape anymore. And he would come to work and say, "Yeah, my wife is on me to start running and this and that." And I looked at him dead in the face. I said, "You better listen to your wife. Or you're not gonna have a wife for much longer."
Yep.
Because you have apparently drifted way away from where you were when you landed her, and she's not happy about it, and she gonna go and find someone else who looks like you used to look.
That story Sean said is accurate, because I just read a statement today. It was a research thing. It said that, I forgot the percentage, but it said that a high percentage of women already have their next one lined up. The idea of who that could be.
I can't wait.
It's called monkey barring. It's called monkey barring. You remember on the playground where you have a monkey bar? Yeah. You're holding on and you're about to swing to the next one, but you're securely grabbed onto the one that you're on.
That's generally easy to do. I mean, there's always a man sniffing around somewhere hoping to get a piece of something. So it's not.
I'm so glad you're on this podcast.
There's always a woman around willing to go on that other side to see it's her damn self. So it is about the money.
Both ways. You know, there's always, you know, either way, it's not even necessarily quality. If you want to have sex, it's available to you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and I think especially if you're miserable in your marriage, like you're not getting any, or in this person to gain weight, and you just looking at them like this big slide, anything gonna look like candy to you.
So if your spouse changes, you are free to leave them, right?
What?
You are not technically free to leave them because you are in a contractual relationship.
They're not ambitious no more. She's not ambitious to get to a class.
That doesn't leave.
Well, no,
you don't get to leave.
Yeah, at least not immediately.
Please revisit our previous podcast where we talked about a marriage license expiring in 5 years and up for renewal.
This man is really concentrating on the divorce.
I'm saying that's what Dre wants. I don't say, well, that's how you do it. But anyway.